You know that one of my biggest passions in life is to help you overcome obstacles and thrive through adversity. And one of my latest project has been being part of this amazing book that is about to transform each and every one of your lives. And today, I have the publisher of the book here with me, where we're going to share amazing information and stories about how these have come together and how this is going to touch you in ways that you cannot even understand yet. Welcome to Living Intentionally, the podcast that empowers driven women to get unstuck and to take their personal and professional lives to the next level. I'm your host, Carmen Benton. I am here to help you create the life you truly desire without burning out. And as a leading expert in living with amplified alignment between your mind, your energy, and your soul purpose, I'll be sharing valuable insights on mindset, energy, self-care, business, and much more. Plus, you get to hear from inspired women who have successfully built businesses and lives that are both meaningful and fulfilling. Join us as we dive into the topic that matter most and uncover the secrets to living intentional. Welcome to today's episode of Living Intentionally. And today we're going to be talking about the Women's Thrive book, second edition, where there is a compilation, a beautiful compilation of women overcoming adversity. And I said I had the publisher of the book here, but she's so much more than that. Meet Raimonda Jan, and she's the founder of Women Thrive Media, a best-selling author, international speaker, serial entrepreneur, and an expert in visibility and authority building. She helps other business founders become recognized and highly visible in their arena of expertise and stand out as an authority in their niche. Ray's passion is hosting events and helping other women become speakers and share their stories worldwide. Thank you and welcome to the show, Ray. I'm so excited and honored you're here with me today.
Thank you, Carmen, and good to meet everyone and be on your podcast. I love the name of your podcast, Living Intentionally, as I think it's really transformational to become intentional about our lives.
Absolutely. And I got to meet Ray earlier this year as I set the intention to become a sought after speaker. And she hosts this beautiful summit, which is coming in March 2024. So you'll hear more about it, I'm sure, here with all the amazing speakers that I'm going to be having here in the show. But as I am interviewing to be part of the speaker, you know, she kind of brushed off that she had this book, and then at the end of the interview, I got accepted to be in the summit, and I'm like, why are you not telling me anything about the book? I was like, I want to be in the book too. Remember that?
Yeah, it was so funny because I just assumed, you're already publishing a book which just come out. Congratulations, by the way,
Thank you.
Carmen. That's
Thank
very
you.
exciting. 2 books in 1 year. Um, I didn't know what a go-getter you were to just, dive into it. And I love doing things that I am passionate about. And what I'm really passionate about is sharing women's stories, creating a platform, creating a place where, and I'm getting emotional, creating a place where women can shine and share their story. For me, that is what it's really about, and doing it intentionally. And I love that you saw this as an opportunity to share your story, and you just said, let's do it. Can I have a go at it as well? And here we are.
And I have to say, Ray is an amazing human being. She just became a mom too. So congratulations. She has a beautiful, beautiful daughter. And in the midst of all that, she was still being able to push each and every one of us. You're going to hear of from some of the co-authors in the upcoming episode here. And she really pushed us to not only deliver a quality chapter, but one that I promise you is going to touch you in your heart.
Mm.
So you better have a box of Kleenex ready when you read the book.
And I need it right now.
I know that I still read my chapter and I get a little emotional about it, but I was scared. I was really scared to get there, right? Like I remember what you told me first was, Carmen, this is a great educational chapter. Where's that story? And I was like, okay, because I'm not used to not being like an overachiever first round. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll give it another try. And that second try, I'm telling you, I cried for 7 hours as I was adding the story. I didn't have to rewrite it, but just add my stories to really to the core. And this story, this part of my book, you'll hear more about it later, but it's about me and my daughter. And it was such a healing. It was such a healing of our relationship on top of the healing I already done. And every one of the authors have said the same thing, how healing this is. And I guess what I want to ask you with that, because each of the authors are going to come and share the story, but it's like, what is your story? How do you get here in a place where your life is dedicated to transforms women's life?
It's so interesting. I think we all have a purpose, and what we do, for me, helping other people and being their cheerleader has always been sort of ingrained in me. But I think it really comes down to some of my own experiences of trauma, facing difficult situations, being an immigrant girl at the age of 13, so having to transition my own life when I was pretty young, and having to face challenges being an immigrant and not speaking the language. And my life wasn't handed to me on a platter. I have had to work really hard and find a way to succeed. At the age of 21, I chose to pursue entrepreneurial route and not pursue the ordinary 9 to 5 career or normal career. And at that age, you're faced with a lot of challenges personally as well as business wise. People don't take you seriously, and you suffer with a bit of a imposter, and there are things you just don't know. So it was a lot of struggles at the beginning. And on top of that, in my mid 20s, I was trying to figure out my route to success in business. I was faced with a difficult relationship with a partner that I had at the time, that he actually left me pretty traumatized after our last encounter. And I was left at the airport stranded and pretty much taken advantage of. And at the time, I was just trying to survive. I was just trying to get by in my own life. And I trusted him. I went to a different country to meet him, and he pretty much taken advantage of me there, knowing that I was in a different country and not able to ask for help. So I was pretty much dumped at the airport. And when I got back, I couldn't speak. I couldn't say what happened. I couldn't speak about the incident. And I felt really ashamed of what happened, trusting someone that I loved and knowing that I was taken advantage of. And that experience, which I didn't know at the time, has brought in such a trauma for me that has taken my voice away completely. I couldn't speak for 2 years. And I don't mean like physically not being able to speak, but emotionally, I wasn't able to face the world. I wasn't able to say what it was. I was trying to avoid speaking to anyone because I couldn't speak. It was really difficult. And I pretty much wanted to get over this period of my life and not ever speak about it ever again because, you feel ashamed. You feel afraid how people will judge you or, bringing that up because it's so painful. So we tend to run away from our pain. And I thought I successfully did that. My life started to take a different shape, and I started to, started my business, which was women in business at the time and hosting events. And I thought, well, that's in the past. And let's just have this beautiful life now and, strive, but I was still struggling with my voice, putting myself out there. It was still coming up for me in different ways, manifesting itself every time I had to record myself or talk. And only later on, maybe 3 or 4 years later, when one of my mentors, Les Brown, asked me when I joined one of his speaking programs, and he asked me, Ray, why do you want to speak? And this is when I said to him, Mr. Les Brown, I want to speak because I know what it's like to lose a voice.
I
And
have chills.
that's when I realized that actually, why do I want to put women on stages and empower them to have a voice is because I know what it felt like not to have one. So that's part of my purpose and passion.
It's so beautiful. And it actually shows in every call that we'd had. And by the way, I am around Ray a lot. The book, I mean, the summit, I just joined her mastermind. And I'm like, cannot get enough of her because her energy, her passion, her integrity, her knowledge. I mean, it's like all of it, all of
Oh,
it.
thank you.
So, what a beautiful story. And by the way, I didn't know this part of the story. I knew some of her stories, and this one is like, oh, I didn't know this part. And we usually don't realize how events in our life really like make us become who we are meant to be. And they many times these events are very painful, right? And we tend to like stuff them and
Yeah.
try to just like mask them, put lipstick right on them, and then just move on. But it's not until we can learn from them and really integrate them into our core that I feel they serve the purpose, which is to transform us in that beacon of light that we're meant to be in the world.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like you have to wear your scars and be proud of it. If
Mhm.
you're going to go out there and cover up your scars, um, and just pretend that you're perfect, it doesn't help the world to see your true colors. And when I say true colors, because I believe we're all really beautiful from the inside out. As long as we don't try to cover up our so-called imperfections because we're afraid, we're ashamed, we're worried what people will think, wear them with pride. Your hurts, your pains, the struggles, the challenges, the scars you have had to endure. Now I've become a mom, and I know women cover up their scars from giving birth or from stretch marks. Wear them with pride because that's what makes you beautiful. You have had to suffer, not suffer necessarily 9 months of pregnancy, but you have had to work hard to bring your children into life or to be where you are today. Wear that with pride and embrace that. Those imperfections makes you beautiful.
And so many of us, I'm going to say, do that, right? Because I used to cover all my scars. I
Yeah.
had this facade that I was this perfect corporate executive. My life was so beautiful, right? And it was in paper,
Yeah.
but it's so surreal for me to believe 2 years ago, 2 years ago, I had a completely different life. And it I wouldn't change any of it now that I have endure, heal, transmute my pain, my trauma, my experiences. And as you're saying, like I wear them with pride because overcoming them is what's helping me help my clients overcome
Yeah.
their struggles. And so, anyways, it's so beautiful. So back to the book. Um, what would you say it's the main theme of the book? And I know the answer, obviously, but
There's something that unites us all through this book. There's like a silver thread. And one of the silver threads is really overcoming adversities, obstacles, and rising through them. So having a breakthrough moment. And like I said, every woman has been, oh man, have been through things in life. And as long as we're able to share it, learn, first of all, overcome it, heal from it, learn your lessons from what happened, because just facing difficult things in life and not healing and not learning about it isn't going to help you to become more self aware or even help somebody else. So you have had to go through that sort of butterfly moment and transition. So I do believe that the whole golden thread is about overcoming adversity and sharing that butterfly moment with people, because we can help other people heal through our own stories. And I always say when I speak in our community, there's so much more that unites us than separates us.
Mm.
And when you start to see, and I've seen this happen in the environments and the events that I host, women would be so brave. And don't underestimate how brave it is for women to write their stories or someone to get up on stage and share their personal story. It's one of the bravest moments someone could have, in a hope that they won't be shut down, they won't be criticized, that they will be received. And one, you obviously have to have a safe space to do that. So when you share your story, you allow other people to see themselves in your story and have their own transformational moment. Realization that perhaps my story is just as important, or I can learn something from you, or I don't need to be perfect. So in every life experience, there is a lesson to be learned and shared. And that's what this book is about.
Yes, I mean, it's I was I was shocked. Sorry, my voice. I was shocked, and at the same time I was like, I don't know, enlightened of how these strangers came together and started writing about their stories, and they all sort of like flow together. Like if you would have tried to make us write something that kind of made sense without a theme, right? Like it's just the overcoming adversity, which is not just, but like that. But it wasn't like, okay, let's talk about specifically this. And we all end up pretty much in the same place, which was, I mean, it was incredible to me, which just talk about divine synchronicity, right? Like we all came here to write this book for a reason, and it's meant to transform the lives of women who are experiencing adversities in these ways. And you might not even know that this is something you have to heal. And I guess my intention with my chapter is that um, and I know that my co-author too, is that even if you don't know by reading, these stories, something starts waking up in you where you realize, maybe I don't have to pretend this didn't happen. Maybe I need to, you know, take a look, love myself, embrace, compassion, and know that there is something better on the other side. And it's so beautiful that you have facilitated this for the readers and for the authors, because quite frankly we got the best part of this by healing by healing, right, by going through the process, which is amazing. And so, if, by the way, the book is going, it's going to be published November 2nd. Believe there's a pre-sale before that.
Yes, there is. We're going to be having a virtual launch event on November 2nd. So it will be made available actually, I believe, on that day. And the physical book will be out beginning of November as well.
Yes. And so that's 5 weeks from now. So make sure you mark your calendar. But don't worry, I'll be reminding you every week from now until then. And if we were to tease our listeners with like the one reason why they need to come and get this book, what would you say that would be?
There's more reasons than one. And you probably don't know what you're going to find. Not in the book, but within yourself as you read those chapters. And I'll pick up the book that I have for those who are watching this on video. You'll see faces of women, different faces. And every time that you pick up this book and you decide to read it, you will have a different experience, whether you read one chapter, another chapter, or you're faced with different life situations that you're going through, different phases in life. You're going to have a different experience every time reading this book. There might be a new revelation, might be a new opportunity to heal, to self reflect, to connect with the author, or connect with yourself. So it's very multidimensional as far as different stories, but also for the reader to have that experience of reading the stories. And I've read the stories already that's going into the volume 2, and genuinely most of the chapters that I picked up to read as an editor, they captivated me right away. Some brought me to tears. Some of those stories I wish I could watch a movie of exactly what happened. And it really offers a lot of insight and healing for the readers. So please pick up the copy and share it with somebody else, because you don't know who may need to read it. And I say this to the authors: write your story with the intention that this chapter will reach exactly who it needs to reach at that particular moment to support their lives.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much for that. I'm obviously very invested in this process, but I totally support and stand behind every word that Ray just said right now, because it's true. It's true. It's really transformational. So I know where to find you, but I want everyone to find you, Ray, because as I said, I cannot get enough of your energy, of your smile. I mean, look at that beautiful smile.
Oh, thank you.
And the knowledge, the support. And she has a lot of projects. Um, and I know everyone has a book inside of them, for example, but that's not the only outlet that you have for women to speak. But why don't you tell us a little bit about Women Thrive and the things that you have to offer and where people can find you and all that?
Yeah. Women Thrive, it's such a passion project that become it started in 2020 as yeah, really as a passion project. It was transition from our live events to a virtual event during the
Mhm.
pandemic, and creating a platform for women to have that space to share about their businesses. And I wanted women to not just survive through the pandemic, through a difficult time that we're going through. I wanted everyone to thrive. I wanted to rise together with women, holding hands through those difficult situations and make an impact, because I knew how difficult it was for most people to figure out, what to do, how to go about it. And since that one event, I mean, people say to me, Ray, all you need is a little seed and you're going to come back with a tree and fruit on it. So since 2020, we started a summit, then we started a podcast. The following year, we started a magazine. And I say we because it's not just myself and the team. And the community. And I've got actually just received my copy today. This is an older one, which has Kat, one of our authors, on there, and this is the latest edition as well.
And
So
that one that you're holding has an article of yours truly on it. So
yes, this they're beautiful. I'm so proud. Initially, it just started as myself designing these things because I wanted to tell women's stories, and I was passionate about getting women in the media. So I just wanted to do that. I just want to get women in the media. However, it has really become a beautiful publication that we now publish. So every year, I host Women Thrive Summit, which is the women empowerment event of the year, virtually. We now do live in person events as well, such as retreats and dinners. And soon we're going to be releasing something a little bit new and very, very exciting. The magazine and the podcast. I don't know how much more I can say in the book. There's two more projects in the pipeline, but I don't know if I can say too much yet.
yes. Well, the good news is that there's two ways you can find out about what's coming. One is by continue to hang out with me because I'm going to be part of all of it.
Yes, you are,
And
Carmen.
two is by following Ray in social media.
Yes.
Um, she's everywhere, by the way. So what is the handle? I mean, I'll put the links here so people can click easy. But you want to share? Where is your favorite place to hang out?
Um, I love Facebook. I love Instagram. Usually, you would find me by my name, Raimonda Jan, or my full name. I just say Jan because it's so much easier to pronounce. But I'm sure if you Google, you'll find me. As well as Women Thrive Media, we have social media channels everywhere, and we tend to be very, very active. I would definitely encourage you to head over to womenthrivesummit.com. You'll find a book there, the volume one, volume two, as well as the summit. So every month we do virtual meetings that you can join, be part of the community. And I just say to women, just come and be part of it. Just come and hang out. You don't need to, invest anything. Just come and hang out. Be part of the community. Your presence itself is a gift to everyone. So just show up and be part of something like this. And before you know it, you'll be elevated, you will be inspired, you will meet women who will support you, encourage you. I'm a big cheerleader for every woman, and I believe that I foster that energy within our community. That if you get into our community and you meet other women, they will become your cheerleaders and friends for life. So that's the kind of community that we foster, and I welcome all of you to come and join us.
And that is absolutely 100% true. I can attest to that. Thank you so much, Ray, and we call her Ray, with love. Thank you so much, Ray, for such an honor to have you here today. She's just coming back from maternity leave, you know. And I was like, "Oh, do you think you want to come to the podcast to kick off the book series?" And she's like, "Yes, yes, yes." So,
Of course, I would have missed this for a world, and this is my first podcast recording since coming back, and
cool.
I mean, living intentionally. I love it. It's a beautiful name for the podcast. You are just such a shining light, and I
Oh,
love your presence and how you show up in every space and your passion for what you do. And I think that's what really transmutes through everything, through enthusiasm, through your work, through your commitment, the fact that you do what you say you're going to do. You invest in yourself, you move forward, you take part in projects like this, you continue to grow and heal. And that's the kind of standard you set for your audience and for your clients as well. And I think that is really, really admirable. And I can't recommend working with you highly enough as well.
oh, thank you so much. Thank you. I feel like sprinkled with love now. So next week we're gonna have one of the co-authors of the books, and that's gonna be for the next couple of weeks until the book launches. And you're gonna have to wait till the very last day before the book launch to hear about my chapter. But that's gonna be all perfectly orchestrated by the universe. And I am so happy that you're here with us. I can't wait for you to read this book and share with us how it touched your life, how you felt, which story did you resonated the most, and share it with your, with your friends, with your daughters, with your moms, with your everyone, because it is really something special. So thank you, Ray, for being here, and I'll see you guys next week in another episode of Living Intentional. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Hey there, thank you for tuning into today's episode of Living Intentionally, the podcast where we explore ways to live with purpose and fulfillment. If you're new here, make sure to hit the follow button so you never miss an episode. You can find me on Instagram and TikTok at the Carmen Benton. I'm your host, Carmen Benton. I'll be back next week with more insights and inspiration.